All right, so I believe what they call this is microcephaly. Microcephaly, I think, is what it is called. Tiny head syndrome. And with microcephaly comes tiny head, tiny brain. You can't put a big brain in a tiny head. So tiny brain doesn't always mean stupid either, but it does mean you have limitations. So there's that. Um, Man, I've never heard anyone struggle so hard with words in my life, and until you get to know them and you're right beside them, you want to think, okay, maybe it's the whatever anti-aging thing that he's got going on. Maybe it's that. Because not only does he look like a young person or a female, especially on camera, but then he has the intelligence level of a young person, the emotional intelligence of a teenager. But this all can be explained by the microcephaly. And so, after I've looked into it a little bit, I'm going to believe, that is his disability. How about that? Whether that person wants to admit it or not, I think he has a disability. Certainly an inability. Like, this would just be frustrating. It would be more interesting for me to argue with this fucking wall than to argue with Joe's. Joe's and I, we're not seeing eye to eye on something here. Joe's and I are missing something. Somewhere we're not firing on all cylinders. Shit. And so, like, Joe's keeps thanking Amber and her mom for being so great. And Amber spent about 2 hours with Joe's over the course of 8 days. So, when you spend 2 hours with somebody over the course of 8 days, you might not get a little sick of them. Shouldn't. But I know from watching just my young kids play. I remember growing up the same way with me. I spent the night at a buddy's house. By the time, about an hour away from it's time for me to go the next day, when the mom's kind of picked me up or whatever, we're fighting on the basketball court. Can't stand to be around each other. Dempsey and his best buddies like that too. And so that's probably what you can chalk up that last stream as. I had gotten sick of him moping around the fucking house, pouting essentially about shit for 3 days in a row. I intentionally titled the stream Happy Father's Day, Only the Happy Need Apply. I said only the happy need apply in the title of the stream, that he was sitting on the porch. Boy wasn't coming out there, but he decided to when I went live. And so, because I actually wanted the family to come out. I had said, everybody, let's go out here and do this all outside. Originally, that's how we were going to do it. Then he, came on into the stream, and so, but his attitude really didn't change. If you rewatch it, I rewatched like the first 15 minutes, I think. You can tell he's trying to cause some sort of disruption or disturbance. Wants to argue. He's like that already. So, just probably getting sick of each other at that point. That's fair enough, too. Definitely didn't like the way I, treated Evan, because I've refused to see eye to eye with him. And I chose to just say, here's my thoughts. You know what I mean? Like, I hear your thoughts, but here's mine. You got a problem with these other people, keep it with them. He's hosting a stream, really not. I guarantee you, in his real life, he doesn't give a fuck about you the way you're giving a fuck about him in your real life, which just so happens to be taking place right in front of me. And it's bad energy, man. He sucks He takes the breath right out of me. He leaves a hole where my heart should be. He's gotta shine just to make it through. So he brought that bad energy right up into the screen, right? He dialed that shit right into my screen. And because I didn't agree with him on the thingamajigger, you know, yeah, we had a real bad last stream, whatever. Kind of the idea, the investment I made was to bring him up here and do that type of shit together. So his effort or lack thereof, either way you want to look at that, was pretty miserable relative to the investment I had made. So you live and you learn. But as I've thought about it, and this is how I remember the microcephaly thing is, I look back at that stream, and when we were sitting there, my head looks so gigantic because it is, right? But also his head looks so small. And we're like way down here, like at the very bottom of the screen. And we were like even with each other. So the camera was not that much different to him, to me. And the difference and I only had one contact on, right? Yeah. The difference in my eyes was like, wow, man, my head is way bigger. Like it looked like on the phone, it looked like a quarter over here and a penny over there. So that microcephaly thing is a real thing, and he may not be meaning to say that I treated him like shit, because obviously I didn't. We watched every video leading up to that last day, for the most part laughing, having good times and all that shit, plus on his videos where I'm bringing him fucking plates of food. I wouldn't say the treatment was piss poor, because also at the beginning of that video, the last video that he did with me, he even says, you know, at least it's average. Those are vultures, by the way. Fuck, they're over here. That's a vulture. Literally a vulture is in this video right now. You can't hire a vulture. Which tree is it? I can't blow it up. At the top of the, there's my finger. This tree is a vulture. You gotta like it. Okay. Focus. Big head. Okay, so, alright. My mother-in-law interacted with you approximately like maybe 11 minutes over 8 days. So great. She treated you great. But me and you had a lot of time together, man. And, you know, yeah, I'm sarcastic and I'm it's hard to really penetrate that. Just am that way. Sometimes a little too overboard like that. And it comes across as pompous. Shit, man, you know, I'm working on it. But I try to listen. Sometimes I think when I'm hearing things, I'm like, really? You're gonna let that bother you? And then maybe I say things like, dude, that's real. That's a shame that you would let something like that bother you, man. Like, I haven't let shit like that eat me a lot like that since I was 3rd grade, 4th grade. And, you know, see, he is there, though. That's where he is emotionally. He's 14, but he's a 14-year-old that keeps failing 5th grade. So, I need to dial it back on this, because this is a lose-lose from here on out. What's done is done. you know, as far as work ethic for the week, I, give it a flat F probably. As far as like wanting to do things creatively speaking, creatively speaking, he was an F for sure. Like he wasn't coming up with shit. He just wanted to complain about what you said about him. That's it. That's what he had for me. Lazy, yeah. Definitely like when shopped, got all the stuff, and because I had the extra bag, I thought we might as well get a lot of drinks. I knew we were going to be going through a lot of drinks. I had learned that from somebody else in the community who had put them up. So I was asking him to help me bring home the drinks. Sure, could have done it through Uber, all that kind of shit. Also, we're coming up here to film anyway. We're supposed to be doing some things. We can get these. It's not that big of a deal. He walks around with this huge backpack on his back. I'm asking you to carry home the 12-pack of Coke that you're gonna drink. I don't know. Kind of went to me on that one, right? Although later on we did arm wrestle, and we used both his hands, and Amber is stronger than him. So that backpack thing, yeah, he carries it, sure, but he ain't walking like I walk. He'll walk a very minimal amount of time, camp, get an Uber, get a ride to some spot, get a ride. He's a hitchhiker, not a walker. That pack is very limited. It's so fucking lazy that the pack sat in front of the door, where you had to step over to get into the porch onto the porch from inside, or vice versa, until I moved it. An hour or 2 hours or whatever it was. Like, that's where he brought it from inside to put it there because it started raining. And I was out there, and I'm watching people come out and having to step over it. Where he's sitting right beside it. The backpack's right there. He sees people step over it. He'll move the dog out of the way by kicking her, by the way, or grabbing her and jerking her pretty hard. He is a little more aggressive with that dog than he needs to be. That's fair enough. Popping it when it's about to go after another dog, that's one thing. But when somebody comes out on the porch, you kicking her on the ass to slide her across the fucking porch, sheer fucking laziness. You want to clear things out of the way, get up and move your bag, say, let her off the goddamn leash, by the way, and let her run around. It's a fenced-in backyard. We can lock the fucking gate. He kept her away from her water at times, not all the time, but at times where she was in the porch with him. She's sitting right there, water's outside, beyond the door, and she can't get to it because she can't open the door. Not that, she was trying. She was also hooked up to that tie down that when it got into she'd stay on it all the way, tied down from over by the hot tub all the way into the back porch, and it would get wrapped on things, and, she was staying on the back porch right by his feet. So the water was out there, good look. I guess wait till he goes out there. I'm telling you, I come home, he's on the back porch, dog's on the back porch, water bowl is out underneath the fucking glass table in the sun. Not all the time. But an unempathetic person, not sympathetic, empathetic, an unempathetic person wouldn't think about those things, about the dog, like it's a sub. It's not even as cool as a human. It can't even stand on two legs or pee in a toilet. So humans are so much better. The dog doesn't deserve anything more than a push with my foot. It didn't hurt the dog. It's just lazy, and it's like, that's the animal you love. She didn't go ouch, but it's still, to me, rude to do to the dog. If you care to move the dog out of the way. Otherwise, don't do anything, by the way, because we can all step over her legs and just get by. your bag's in the way anyway, man. So it's not like it's not an obstacle course. So I never brought that up really. I just would say things periodically that he would think I was being an asshole to. I was really just being sarcastic, kind of trying to get the point across, but also keep it like funny, a little lightheaded humor. So when we're out here and I did all the shopping, I did all the loading of the bags. I thought that he was showing me on somebody's live stream, because the camera's aimed at me. So he's telling me how to do something with the bag. I've loaded the whole thing. I'm like, oh, you must not know who the fuck I am, right? I'm pressing him to be funny, obviously being funny. I thought the camera was on me. And then he shuts the camera off. So I knew how it looked, but then I didn't realize they didn't see it until I listened to them describe it. So they weren't looking at us. He had a black screen. They wouldn't have known what he was doing. They wouldn't have known what I was doing, probably. Just that we were at the grocery store and then I erupted on somebody. So we played along with that. That was the only skit we really did all week. And that was pretty lame. Even in doing that, it went each of us had a different idea of how to do it. And it went off terrible, trying to back up what the other one was saying. It was stupid. I could see through it pretty quickly. I thought everybody could. We didn't get up and go do anything else. We didn't film anything. It was a pretty lame week. Now, I worked on the Monday and Tuesday when he first got here. The first 2 days he stayed in the hotel. And I didn't want to go do shit on that Wednesday. I was going to get him another hotel. I sent him the money for the hotel. He couldn't get the hotel. That is why, by the way, I got the $100 back from him. I sent him $230 the first time and $120 the second time, I believe. You can check that, or I guess I can check. I haven't checked it, but he gave me back $100 because he didn't get the hotel the last day. He got kicked out, so he couldn't get it. And I didn't even ask for the whole 120 or 110 or whatever it was. I sent him just $100 back since we weren't going to get a hotel. I used that to buy all the drinks and all that shit that we bought that night. So, that's to clarify that. Yeah, the Monday and Tuesday was 110 each night. It's 220. And he thinks my math is terrible. But again, microcephaly. There is that. Hang on 1 second. May I choke you? Don't get me wrong, man. I'm not saying he just abuses his dog. He doesn't. I think the way he thinks you're supposed to treat a dog is wrong. That's all. I wouldn't treat my animal like that. I wouldn't treat my pets like that. I didn't treat his dog like that. He hit her on video. Not hard, but for what though, dude? Like, hard enough. Didn't make her yell, but hard enough. Makes me uncomfortable to be around it, honestly. I didn't say enough about that. I regret that. Just didn't think it was my place, man. That's the one thing in the world that he can resolve issues with is his dog. And it's pretty easy. He just kicks her or punches her, and that's the end of that. The rest of the world, you just run away from, Renee. Just walk away, Renee. You won't see me follow you back home. So, people always do this on YouTube. It's the last time I'm doing the thing I'm doing that I'll do 5 more fucking times. So, it's the last time I'm doing this before the next 4 times I do it. Just fucking spraying motherfuckers up. Just one. You know, man, 'tis a shame. And it was my bad for naming the video, Jose, Can You Leave? I should not have expected him to see the connection between Jose, Can You See, the first video he made, and Jose, Can You Leave, the last video. He thought I made it look like I asked him to leave. And I ain't taking credit for that. I did not ask him to leave. Jose, you keep arguing, but nobody's fucking making that fucking point. Nobody has said Eddie kicked you out. Everybody knows you left. You left a big pouty baby like you were the last fucking 4 days that you were there. And you've been one all the way. And you ain't too far away. I told you on the message, before I blocked you, by the way. It's petty Annie shit right here, dude. Maybe we blocked each other at the same time. That'd be the only thing. I blocked you on Messenger, and I blocked your phone number immediately. As soon as I saw him walking in my neighborhood, literally 100 yards from me, talking shit about me. So I was like, okay, well, that number's blocked. And then I went to Messenger and said, you might want to get a little further away from me before you make up any more lies about me. That was a clear head start and fair warning to just quit lying about me if you're going to be in my neighborhood. Because it's a real practice in restraint to let another full-grown man, yeah, who's just spent the week taking complete advantage of your hospitality, stand right there and literally lie about you, talking shit about you. Little bit of fucking restraint on my behalf. Your face is welcome for that. So here it is. Hush, little baby, don't say a word. And I don't have to go down the street and talk to you to your fucking grill. Okay? Good for you? I'm reaching out a hand. Good for you? Good. Glad we settled that. Micro settled, bitch. Damn, it should have ended right then. I really wanted it to end right then.